Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some consequences for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the post, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Okay, so to explain basically what this is, recently, UhOhConsequences has started shifting into more GIF and video and media-based content. I don't want to bulldoze and step on someone else's community, so I've decided to make a sister community, UhOhConsequences, to be more text-based stuff and stuff for this channel. Because I have, for the past 6 months, actually been kind of collecting UhOhConsequences content myself and actively searching for posts that fit it to pretty much keep it going on a weekly basis. So I realized if I'm already doing that, why not launch my own subreddit? So it's the same as what you're used to for your usual UhOhConsequences, but instead it's got some new shitty Oz branding attached to it. UhOhConsequences, as I call it. This post was collected by Information Landmine. The original OP is Substantial Jello 7213, posted on r/legal advice March 29th, 2022. Landlord/insane mother-in-law lost eviction case to me. Just served a notice to vacate to my 7 and 18-year-old kids in Texas. Wish I was joking, y'all. To summarize, psycho landlord, who happens to also be my mother-in-law, served me with an eviction notice before Christmas. Went to court, judge dismissed the case with prejudice. Thought this was a great win on my part. My court decree states at the top, blank and all occupants, so I'm assuming my children, her grandchildren, are protected. But I want to be damn sure before I lay it into her for her serving a first grader an eviction notice. I doubt that one will stick, but is my 18-year-old protected? Can you lose an eviction case to one tenant and go after another? Obviously no rental agreement with the 18-year-old, just me and their dad. Edited with facts. 1. Yes, we have paid rent for 16 years on time and have never, not even once, missed a payment. It is important to note that the leasing agreement we have was verbal, so there was no written/signed contract breaking any rules. The judge identified this and agreed she had no grounds to evict me other than she felt like it. Legal, but next note is important. 2. My kid's dad and I split up temporarily, and it got to the point of a temporary custody agreement, in which I was specified to stay in the house with the kids until March 10th, 2023. I know this is a long time, but that's what our attorneys agreed to. The JOP dismissed the eviction case in his court because the higher district court has jurisdiction. She had 60 days to file with the district court, and she chose not to, likely because technically they don't deal with this. So the case was dismissed with prejudice. Exact verbiage in case I'm misinterpreting. It is therefore ordered, adjourned, and decreed by the court that this suit be dismissed with prejudice and the defendants, my name, go hence without day, and further that court costs be taxed against plaintiff. 3. Sorry for mixing terms up, she served a notice to vacate. A second eviction case has not currently been filed with the JOP. Update 1. Landlord changes locks with cats inside after failed eviction attempt. Texas, May 12, 2022. Hi y'all, back again. Backstory. My landlord is my mother-in-law from hell. We have a verbal month-to-month lease. I have already paid her for the month of May as of the 3rd. She attempted to evict me in December/January, and the judge dismissed the eviction with prejudice. She's been trying every which way to get us out, and we are in the process of moving. However, we have lived here for several years, and it's a large house. We are both working, so we've been packing up a little every evening. We are both still sleeping in the residence. We already have a new lease at another house, but again, we still reside in the residence. Most of our belongings, plus our cats, are still inside. I have had no communication with her since our court hearing. Important note, she sent a handyman over 3 days ago to change the locks, immediately called the police and showed them the court document. They told him he couldn't do that, and he left. I confirmed this was documented with the police. Had an outing this evening and returned home to all of the locks changed. There is a padlock on our garage and on the fence gates to the backyard. I considered breaking a window but opted to call the police instead. My animals and my medication are inside, as well as my children's backpack, clothes, etc. Police arrive. They advise me not to break a window or break a door down as it could be a criminal offense. They took detailed notes and confirmed that this was obviously an illegal lockout, but it is a civil matter and I need to contact the court. I was hoping the medical/animal details would be enough to force entry, but it wasn't. I don't know if anything has been stolen, if my cats are even inside, etc. All of this being said, at the end of the day, I wasn't evicted. The judge dismissed it, the police confirmed it, and my landlord did it anyways. Obviously going to file a writ of entry first thing in the morning, but I want to go full force with the consequences on this one. My questions are: 1. Does this action qualify as being in contempt? Can she be held criminally liable for knowingly disobeying the initial court order? 2. What sort of civil damages should I go after? I know I can sue her for a list of things like rent, court costs, etc. I am in Tarrant County if that helps. But is that a viable option? At this point, I'm only pursuing these damages out of principle, but I would like to make this as difficult as possible for her. Is getting an attorney worth it? Edit, just wanted to add that today, when I went into the local PD to request the call notes to bring to court, the cop told me to just break a window or call a locksmith. Pretty stupid that one cop tells me that it's a criminal offense and the other tells me that it's my right to my property. That's Hygh versus North Carolina for you. Update 2. Update. Landlord, evil mother-in-law, illegally changed locks after a failed eviction attempt. She got arrested. The next morning, May 13th, 2022. Hi all, posted like 12 hours ago about my evil mother-in-law landlord changing the locks to my home. Today went fantastic. I went to the police station, requested a copy of all of the call notes from the past few days, and went to file a writ of re-entry at the JOP. Judge thought it was hilarious that she was attempting to avoid his dismissal of my eviction. Getting the call notes was a great step to prove my case. Constable and I head out to the house to either get a key from her or force entry into the house. Turns out she's there, and she's actively packing my items into the backseat of her car. Clothes, shoes, etc. She told the constable she was going to donate them. He was literally there to serve her a writ of re-entry because of illegal eviction tactics, and she was doing it again. I go inside and notice my iMac, extra monitors, other electronics, etc. are not in my office. I go outside raging, insisting she stole it. Constable wasn't happy with my behavior, but I used that computer for work, and it really lit a fire in me. He told me to call the local PD, so I did. And when they arrived, she was like, I can't get my trunk open. But I really pushed that I needed to check inside. The cops forced it open, and lo and behold, about $6,000 of electronics, all of which belonged to me, plugged it in, and showed my name and my face on it. She got caught red-handed in the middle of a burglary. Y'all, I swear I'm not making this up. This is the only pic I got of it in action, but I'll show it even though you can't see most of it. There is, in fact, a photo, and it's mostly empty, but I do see the unmistakable stand of a monitor in the back there. That's actually kind of funny that OP brought receipts. Looks like the photo had to be sneaky. Imagine how stupid she feels sitting in jail right now knowing she's 100% getting convicted because my neighbors handed over a video of the two of them carrying it out together. If I had waited even 10 to 20 more minutes to go to the courthouse, she might have gotten away with stealing all of my stuff. In some beautiful turn of events, she and her creep husband got arrested for felony theft and burglary. And I didn't lose any of my stuff. Clothes, shoes are replaceable, but those electronics would have really hurt, as I'm a designer and that's my entire income. Now, I'm getting the hell out of this house, even as tempting as it is to see if she decides to do anything else and be found in contempt. Thank you all. Hope this is the end of the saga. Edit. Also want to add I filed a small claims case against her for the damages I'm entitled to from her illegal eviction. I hope they serve her in jail. OP also provided an update with the cat tax, showing their cats. The cats are okay. Yes, evil bitch put both of the cats in a cat carrier and left them in there for 16 hours until we got there. They're fine, but no case for animal cruelty, though I absolutely brought it up. Here's a photo of the goblins. There is a comment in the best of post by Deathclaw Tamer. Sounds like mother-in-law is trying to evict and sell all her stuff so mother-in-law can push OP's ex into getting custody of the kids and show that OP can't provide for her kids. And proof is that she got evicted and spent thousands on tech stuff instead of getting things for her children. Might be a far-reaching guess, but I've seen crazier. Which, that comment actually just made so much sense to me that I wanted to add it because that explains her behavior. It doesn't justify it, It actually makes it entirely just so much worse, but at least it adds some, methodology to the madness and makes things at least understandable as to what her fucked up motives were. It's a shame we won't know how the trial went or the conviction status of all of that, but she kinda got caught fucking red-handed. I don't really know how you can argue against that. Well, you see, officer, that's not mine. Yeah, that's the problem. It's not yours. But the mother-in-law is just flat out a monster, and she got exactly what she deserved. Uh-oh, consequences. This post was collected by Lucy Aria Rose, and their tagline is, "I'm keeping the garlic." The original OP is Further Dimensions, posted in r/pro-revenge, and then later in r/nuclear revenge. April 3rd, 2024. Threaten my friend with revenge porn? I'll ruin your whole damn life. My very good friend made some slightly dumb mistakes and sent some pictures to someone that she reasonably thought she could trust, but not knowing much more than his first name, his screen name, and roughly where he lived and the type of work he did. He is not in our country, but had indicated that he would be traveling for work to near us shortly, and they had made some plans to meet. And when she got some red flags and backed out, the dude threatened to publish these pictures online. I am, incidentally, an attorney. So, some searching later, and gathering up any pictures he sent her of him that could possibly identify him, his online handle led me to a TikTok page, which led me to an Instagram page with his name on it. That led to a LinkedIn page with his place of work that matched a picture he sent with a branded polo he was wearing. Some more searching got me the email of the CEO, VP of HR, Operations Manager, and Public Relations Manager. I just fired off an email on behalf of my client of the screenshots of him threatening revenge porn, snippets of the conversation showing that username, while he sent that exact picture of him wearing his company's branded apparel. Links to how I know it's him, along with pictures he sent her of his motorcycle with the license plate showing, as further proof it is him. I also included screenshots of him discussing a workplace incident that were timestamped, along with pieces of dialogue discussing how he had sex with an ex at his place of work, and discussing plans to have sex with her in his office as well. I also included a picture he sent her showing his work laptop with his entire Outlook calendar, along with proprietary information which he sent to prove he was busy, along with other pictures he took of his workplace with non-consenting employees. I further informed his employer that I will be forwarding all this information to local, to them, law enforcement, and since he had indicated that he would be traveling to the United States soon, we'll also forward this to the local office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation as, since my client is a U.S. citizen on U.S. soil, these threats constituted a federal crime, so that should they continue with his employment and continue with their plans to send him to the United States for work, I will ensure on behalf of my client that federal law enforcement is waiting for him on arrival, which I will do, as one of the assistant U.S. attorneys for this region is a law school buddy of mine. Since I have his license plate number, I know where he lives, and will be contacting his local authorities tomorrow. You dumb motherfucker! Thinking you were hiding around anonymity, thinking you could threaten my friend? It took me 45 minutes to destroy your life. Relevant comments. There are a lot of people with law opinions, so I try to find ones that fit the big picture. Someone commenting that it's fake because it's not a federal crime. OP responds with, yeah, revenge porn is indeed not a federal crime. You are absolutely correct. International extortion, however, is. While federal law does not explicitly make revenge porn a federal crime, a foreign national extorting a U.S. citizen with threats of violating a state law, when such threat is transmitted across state borders, is absolutely a federal crime. It's 18 U.S.C. Section 875 if you're interested. And as a quick correction, I had inadvertently cited number 873. It is in fact 875. Another lawyer chimes in with a long post, but too long didn't read. Commenter. Going to the FBI wouldn't threaten criminal action. It would threaten deportation, which from the company's perspective may well be worse. OP responds, causing corporate counsel a very bad day was kind of the goal. Appreciate the added context. I know exceedingly little about immigration law. On the believability. So here's the thing. You are totally justifiable in being skeptical. Anyone can say anything. In this case, the story and all elements in it are factual. And slight correction, the cited section of the US Code doesn't deal with kidnapping, it deals with interstate communications. Paragraphs A through C deal with ransom, kidnapping, and threats to kidnap. Paragraph D deals with threats to reputation. The section deals with criminal interstate communications, not kidnapping only. But yes, I admit, I meant 5. I typed 3. Minor typo, major change. As for my post history, well, I'm not actually paid to give legal advice here. This is largely my mess around account where I talk about video games and an AI-related side gig I do. Oh, don't say that. Though there's some scattered posts here and there that makes reference to it. If it's a lie, it's a long con. In regards to typos, it's a running joke that my spelling and grammar are embarrassingly atrocious. It's why I have someone who proofreads all my stuff. Why did you create a client relationship with someone you know? Sus and hard to say ethical. Yeah, you're absolutely correct, it very much does, and the content of the conversation I had with my friend about exactly what I would do for her in the context of this is not part of this post, nor would I even be allowed to share them without permission as it would violate privilege. I am very careful, and I am very well aware of the duties and responsibilities it entails. That was a conversation I had between her and myself. The content of that conversation is not subject to nor relevant to this. Ultimately, well, true, but I am, incidentally, a labor law attorney and know exactly what to say to get corporate types running scared. Here is your employee photographing other people in the workplace and sharing pictures of the content of his work laptop. Is a bad look. And that's where I'm getting started. Tomorrow, if I don't hear back, I go to, so, you gonna do something about this or do I take this to your social media pages? I already have proof it's him. Posting in response to people saying that if he loses his job, he might post the pictures. So, yes, quite possibly. I brought this up to her. Her response is she's not terribly concerned if that happens. The pictures, from my understanding, were not terribly identifiable, nor majorly risque. She's not largely concerned with it happening. What angered her was the hubris and gall of it all. Him thinking he could make these threats without consequences or reprisals. She's not terribly concerned if he does it. She wants him to know she knows who he is. One more regarding that. Commenter, just a thought here. Since they're getting the consequences of actions they only threatened to do, now they have no reason not to do those actions. There's no reason for them not to share your friend's nudes now because there's nothing to lose. I would have considered stacking the evidence for revenge like you did, but then holding it over their head instead of pulling the trigger so soon. Just my thoughts though. OP responds, I mean, I disagree with that fundamental premise. There's a lot to lose. Years of his life to lose. Revenge porn isn't just some bad things to do. It's a crime. And while threatening it is bad, doing it is worse and carries a much harsher sentence. To the same extent, any prison is a deterrent to any criminal conduct. There's still very much to lose here. Blackmailers and extorters plan on this logic. They get off on putting their victims in that situation. They get off on the fear and anguish. At a certain point, one may decide to stand up and go, I know who you are. I've already hurt you. I'm capable of hurting you even deeper if you follow through with that threat. And accept that they might and act accordingly if they do. She's okay with that and has made peace with the possibility. I stand by to help her pursue the next level should it come to that. Also, since they're getting the consequences of actions they only threatened to do, no, he's getting the consequences of his threat. That's a subtle but important distinction. Threatening to carry out revenge porn is itself a crime. This is not, he's getting his life fucked for something he didn't do. What he did do is already a crime. That's the point here. Threatening it is, in and of itself, a crime. A comment saying that you're in love with her. In a platonic sense, in that she's a very near and dear friend, sure. In a romantic sense, nah, I'm quite thoroughly partnered and very much not single. Update post, April 4th, the next day. Barely 12 hours later. Before I get into the update though, I want to clarify a few things from my original post, primarily about the contact to the employer and why. Some questioned its truthfulness. While the entire story is true, some details were omitted for various reasons. There is more she and I had in our possession that did positively identify this individual. So, would a lawyer contact his employer like some stated would not be done? It depends. I did not do what I did on behalf of a client who retained me. I did it as a friend to help a friend. And as her friend, who is also a labor and employment law attorney, I knew exactly how to squeeze this. And here's the thing. I was absolutely aware from the onset that the revenge threat would go nowhere with his employer. Even if I could clearly lay out how the person with this screen name was in fact this person who works at this company, all we had are screenshots. If it was just the revenge threat, any employer would go, well, thank you for bringing it to our attention, but even if we accept our employee uses this screen name, and we neither confirm nor deny anyone of that name works here, we have no provenance on this. This is just an alleged screenshot of an alleged conversation that could easily be edited and manipulated. Please feel free to pursue this with the local authorities, and rest assured, should we be asked to, we will cooperate fully with any law enforcement inquiry, but we have no further comment at this time. And I know that's what they would say because that's exactly what I would say. An alleged screenshot of an alleged conversation that was allegedly sent under an alleged username that is allegedly one of our employees? Whatever, dude, call the cops if you're worried about it. We'll answer them honestly if they come to us. The issue wasn't the revenge threat. It was the picture of the contents of the work laptop. Because that can't be faked. There's no way for her or me to create a false image of the actual proprietary information on his work computer unless he sent it. There's no way for me or her to have possessions of images taken of his coworkers without their consent unless he sent them. The proof here wasn't that this person broke the law. It's that he sent pictures of company employees and property which would absolutely be verifiable by their IT department that yes, this is absolutely his laptop. That's what would get him fired. So I advised my friend not to block him, to sit and wait and not respond to anything, but let him dig himself in deeper. And respond, he did. Update, same post, 1 hour later. He's been fired. So, with now definitive proof that the individual in the online conversation is in fact this person, we'll forward it all to the local authorities in his country, along with his license plate number. They're more than capable of getting his home address. Relevant comments. How did he respond? A lot of, how could you? And I didn't mean it. And I didn't even do anything. Commenter. I can't believe people didn't understand the proof you sent to the company. As soon as I saw that he sent pics of company property employees, I knew he was fired. OP responds, I admit I was a little confused by the whole no lawyer would ever do that. Seriously, you hurt a friend and hand me a way to fuck with you, and you think I won't press that button as hard as I can? What is it you people think we do? Commenter, I can 100% believe this. One of my best friends from college is an attorney. He's basically Bruce Banner. You do not want to make him angry. This is literally something I can see him doing with a huge smile on his face. OP responds, I'm amused overall with people being like, that's not what an attorney would do. Send an email? Dude, that's the first thing we do 90% of the time. Commenter, and 75% of that 90%, you need to take no further action. OP responds, oh, absolutely. 1. This is what happened. 2. This is what I expect you to do about it. And 3. This is what I'm going to do if you don't. Option 3 is going to be way more unpleasant for you than option 2, so strongly consider option 2. Or I'm going to make that decision for you, and you are not going to like that. The vast majority of the work that lawyers do is just sending an email, discussing options, and coming to a mutually acceptable outcome. Most times, a strongly worded email from a lawyer is enough to get the outcome wanted. That's most of what we do. Commenter, I could kind of understand if maybe it was just a client, but this is a friend, and he handed it to you on a silver platter. How could you say no to that? I'm not entirely sure what people think lawyers do, because this seems par for the course for me, lol. OP responds, yeah, I never said I was a criminal attorney, or even a civil tort attorney. What I am is a labor and employment law enforcement attorney for the government, which means I know exactly how to make a company squirm. I am absolutely and deeply aware nothing I had was evidence enough for a criminal case. It didn't need to be. I'm not law enforcement. But I knew exactly what I was holding on to, and exactly how to make sure his employer knew there was no way this ended with him having a job. Because that's what I do. And I had enough to make it very, very clear to them. that this ended in one way. One more long comment from OP about what being a lawyer is and how media has warped it. Well, that's sorta the thing. I was absolutely acting as a lawyer, but I was doing so in a way that actual lawyers do, and not what people think lawyers do. Most of what lawyers do isn't courtroom theatrics. At the end of the day, a lawyer is basically a professional, very bad day threatener. Because the sad reality is most people, even with legitimate grievances and reasonable expectations, will be bullied, ignored, attacked, and harassed for trying to get their legitimate grievance resolved. Because it's easier and cheaper to do that to those who have no resources to fight back. Because let's say you do harm to someone and cost them $10K in damages, and they come to you telling you that they want their $10K in damages. When you know they don't have the knowledge or resources to fight you on this, it's a sound financial move to just go, no, what are you gonna do about it? Us. We're what they do about it. And 90% of what lawyers do is just be the lawyer has entered the chat guy. Because again, we're really good at giving someone a very bad day. In a very, okay, I'm going to give you two options. Option one is you sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, listen to what I'm going to tell you, then do what I tell you. What's option two, you ask? Well, all this. This is me being nice. Option two is I start being way less nice. So be a good little boy and do what you're told, or I go with option two. And when I'm done with option two, you're going to think back on this moment and really wish you went with option one. Because I assure you, as much as option one is going to hurt, option two is going to really hurt. Or maybe it won't. Maybe you'll get lucky. Roll those dice if you really want to, but don't say I didn't warn you. Because as a reminder, I'm being nice right now. This is me. Nice. You have 5 minutes to pick option one, or I pick option two for you. Tick-tock sort of way. So I was absolutely acting as a lawyer here. I was just doing what most lawyer work actually is, which is really just explaining, here's what you need to do to avoid having a very bad day. So as someone who had to go through the legal system, I can confirm that when it comes to a civil case, a lot of it really is just lawyers emailing each other back and forth. Lots of strongly worded emails, and it just gets really expensive really quick. I don't know why Reddit thought that OP was not quite telling the truth, or why they thought a lawyer would never do this, because as OP said, and as I've experienced, this is very much par for the course. Send a very threatening bad day email and see where it goes from there. In this case, OP knew the best way to go after someone who was doing revenge porn wasn't trying to get them for the revenge porn, but to swing at their livelihood and hit them where it hurts with things that they accidentally revealed that a corporation wouldn't want public. Who knows what kind of internal memos or confidential information he leaked to prove that he was busy. And that's what the company cares about. It sends a message. We know where you work. We can get you fired. Don't test us on what else we can do. Buddy here fucked around and boy oh boy did he find out. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77 and their tagline is, Satan is not a pogo stick. The original OP is Am I the Asshole Sister Wedding, posted to r/Am I the Asshole January 20th, 2020. Would I be the asshole for canceling my sister's wedding because it was my wedding first? I was meant to get married on the 1st of February, which was mine and my ex-fiance's anniversary. We ended the engagement shortly after the new year because he cheated on me. The wedding was initially planned with just my money, but was very low-key, and my parents asked if they could put up some additional money to make the whole thing a bit bigger. By the end, about 60% of the wedding was paid for by me and 40% my parents' contribution. My ex and I had agreed that I would pay for the wedding while he covered the honeymoon. My ex left me to deal with canceling the wedding as his money wasn't involved, and I turned to my mother and sister for help because I didn't have the mental or emotional capacity to call vendors and venues and whatever else and cancel everything. My sister is engaged and helped me with a lot of wedding planning. Next thing I know, my mother and sister are asking me if I wouldn't mind my sister just taking my wedding. Every part of it, from the venue to the cake and everything in between. The sole difference will be the wedding dress. And even then, she said if she can't buy off the rack, she might have to get mine tailored to fit her instead. I called off my engagement less than 3 weeks ago. I'm a fucking mess. I reached out to my family to help me cancel the wedding, and my sister is planning to take it over instead. My sister has rung around our family explaining that she's taking over before she told me this. They are all attending. Her fiancé has contacted his family and given them the date he will be getting married. I found all this out today. She asked me if I was okay with this, like she hadn't already arranged everything. I told her to go fuck herself. I have until the 23rd to cancel things and get the money back. There's a couple of things where I won't get money back at this stage, but over 2/3 of it is still refundable. The money will be refunded to the card it was paid by, so both me and my parents will get the correct amounts back. Everything is shut right now, but it's the 21st tomorrow. As I've not been in contact with these companies, and it's my name on all the contracts, I have full power over this wedding. My sister said she'd pay me back eventually, but knowing her, I'll never see that money again. Would I be the asshole if I rung around everything and canceled? Verdict, not the asshole. Relevant comments. OP to a deleted comment. She wants me to be her maid of honor, so I'll be standing up front in the dress that was meant for her, while she stands a few feet away in the dress that was meant for me. User Dr. Beaver responds, I am sick to my stomach thinking about you having to not only watch but participate in the wedding day you planned. I'm shocked that any person would think this would be okay, let alone multiple people. OP responds, yeah, my family aren't exactly the most emotionally intelligent people, to be honest. User Misfit X comments in response, wait, she's wearing your dress? The gall of your family. So many internet hugs from Minnesota. The internet is on your side in this. Good grief. OP responds, she says if she can buy off the rack, she will, but the wedding is in 10 days and we're the same size, so if she has no luck, she'll be borrowing my dress. User BAM 2019 comments, wait, so they're taking your date too? I just assumed they were going to move the date so you could still keep the deposit and not lose money. Sheesh. Not the asshole. Cancel that mess. OP responds, yeah, it's the whole thing, including date, which me and my ex actually chose because it was our anniversary. So that's lovely. User Sanctimonious Lock comments, info, does your sister hate you? Is she trying to be hurtful? OP responds, yeah, probably. User Shreyana and Wall comments, will you please show your family this thread so they maybe get some sense knocked into them? OP responds, yeah, they'd probably get mad at me for posting their business online. Not Your Cinderella responds to that with, yeah, but it's your business, your wedding, that's it. Comment from user Ding Chiquita Banana comments, yeah, not the asshole, your family's horrible for not clearing it with you first. Your wedding fell apart due to your ex cheating on you. And everyone's first thought was to let your sister take your wedding without taking your feelings into account? Dog, that's beyond fucked up. You do you, dog. Sorry about your situation. OP responds, when I asked what the fuck they were thinking, my sister actually said to me, it's not like he died. Like cheating was the reason they chose to do this. User Wobblebase comments, info, why not tell her straight up that you will cancel if you do not have a check clear before the 22nd? OP responds, it's because she'll try to talk me out of it, and I don't care half as much about the money as I do the prospect of having to go to my sister's wedding, she wants me to be maid of honor, even after I snapped at her, and watch my sister wear what was meant to be my wedding dress to what was meant to be my wedding and deal with all the invitees who know this was meant to be my wedding barely a month after I called off my engagement, and even in future, if I talk to her again after this, I will have the knowledge that she had my wedding, which is going to make ever having any sort of closure on this whole thing very difficult. Deleted user responds, who's currently in possession of the wedding dress? Make sure it's with you and she can't get access to it. The shop may refund you, but you're probably going to have to sell it online. OP responds, I left it at my mom's house. I was going to get ready at her place because she's closer to the venue, which means that my sister probably has it by now, and I hate myself for leaving it there. Update posted January 22nd, 2022, 2 days later on the same post. Update. I talked to my sister and explained how sad I was and how hurt this made me feel, and she said that this was a good thing, and it would be therapeutic for me to see good come from bad. I said, that is really not what it's feeling like on my end, and to me it feels like I got cheated on a month before my wedding, and my sister said she would cancel everything for me. and then decided that getting married in my dress in the venue my ex and I picked out together on my anniversary date, and this did not feel good. I said if she wanted to buy the wedding off me, then I needed payment in full for my 60% by the 23rd, and I wanted to switch out our names on the contracts. She said she was hoping for closer to a payment plan where she paid me back 50% of the 60% I put down in monthly installments over the next 10 months. She wanted to pay me back 5% per month for 10 months, and I still wouldn't get all my money back. I've made calls and canceled everything. Everything was paid for by me, and my parents' money paid primarily for upgrades to things I'd already bought. The money will be refunded to whoever paid for it, so myself and my parents will get the correct money back. However, with some, like the caterer, we've lost the deposit entirely. With some, like the venue, they kept part of the money, average 50%, but some kept more and some kept less. And with some, like the baker, who was a family friend and hadn't started on the cake yet, they completely refunded it. I think the fact that I was open that the wedding was off because he cheated made them feel bad for me and probably made a few of them more lenient on refunds. Didn't just bring it up for the sake of it, most of them asked if I'd want to reschedule. On the whole, I've gotten a little over half back, which is not as much as I thought. Really annoying thing is that I put these cancellations through on the 21st, and if I'd done it on the 18th, 2 full weeks notice, I'd have gotten more. But they waited until the 20th to tell me. The dates are now open. The plans are now there. If she wants to rebook everything in her name, she is welcome to. She helped me with a fuck ton of planning, knows the details better than I do, and she can easily rebook the exact same thing and will probably be doing the vendors a favor considering how close we are to the big day. Some refunds will be instant, some will take a bit of time, longest is 2 weeks, and I'm no longer going on my honeymoon, so once all the refunds have come through, I might book a week away somewhere. Not sure what's happening with my sister, mother, family at large. In total, I would have gotten more back from my sister than I would from the venues, but it would be a year wait on her repaying me versus a few weeks on the venues. Currently drafting a Facebook post to tell the family what happened without me looking like a total bitch. I have a feeling they've already guessed what went on, but only one way to make sure. A few days ago, I actually got a comment asking me why I read the dates and why I, give credit to the person who posted this and why I give the subreddit. Well, for those of you who may have noticed, this was posted January 20th, 2020. If OP's sister wasn't able to repurchase all the venue items, yeah. COVID is waiting around that corner with an aluminum bed for the sister's future wedding plans if she didn't secure February 1st. The thing is, all she had to do was ask her sister first and just say hey, would you be okay with me repurposing your wedding? Because that way if the sister said no, everyone gets their deposits back, and you don't have to cancel the family twice, only once. My guess would be is the mother was probably involved because she also helped book some of the upgrades that they knew when the full refund date would lapse and decided to tell OP after the time, so that way there would be no chance that she could even try to cancel it because, well, we won't get the full deposit back, so we may as well just go forward with repurposing your wedding for your sister. How anyone would feel like that's a good idea is just beyond me. So do you think they rebooked the entire wedding, or do you think they had to cancel it? Because if the money was there, I think OP would have been paid back in full for it. And if that's the case and they weren't able to pay it, then damn, that is a really awkward conversation for the sister to have with her fiance's family of, oops, false alarm, sorry, wedding's not happening, hope you guys didn't book any flights. So, that was the UhOhConsequences experiment. Did it work out? Did it feel like a usual oh no consequences type video? And if this does actually go well, then I've got more subreddits in the chamber that I'm excited to pretty much show you guys, and will give us quite a bit of an opening for more audience interaction. Still working out the bugs on that one. Definitely kind of overshot myself on everything I wanted to get done to have a little bit of a vacation to myself. Bit of a goofy moment. Don't forget code Oz at checkout with gamer subs, and I also wanted to thank everyone who joined the memberships when I needed that assistance. It means the world to me. For those of you who are joining, even if it's just a month, enjoy the emotes that are in the comment section. If you go to type a comment, you should have some exclusive, really horrible emotes that are there. So I plan to add more because I unlocked a bunch of new emote slots, so that'll be something I'll be doing pretty soon here. But yeah, take care everyone.